Hey guys, welcome to the Noob Spearo podcast. Shrek here, the host of this sucker, interviewing spearfishing experts, authorities, and characters from around the world. Today it's Ollie Craig. He's got an awesome YouTube channel, very distinct Kiwi flavour, hunting, terrestrial land-based hunting, as well as a lot of below the surface stuff. He's an outdoorsman for sure, and a really good, lively chat today. I hope I didn't stir him up too much with some of my controversial questions. Really like Ollie, and I hope to chat with him more in the future. I hope you enjoyed today's interview. Before we get started, I have got 3 quick calls to action. Go to spearfishingcourses.com.au if you're interested in doing a spearing course in the Southeast Queensland corner at this stage. I have got 6 courses up starting from September and going all the way through into February 2024. That's the first lot of courses I've got up on this website. It's a fresh build for spearfishingcourses.com.au. The other call to action, the second call to action I have is the spearfishing retreat Whitsundays. So this is spearing and sailing off the Whitsundays in the Outer Reef. I organised it with Eckhart Beckenstein from Salt Sessions. Check that out. It's also up on spearfishingcourses.com.au, or you can go to Salt Sessions website. At this stage, it's at last year's prices. This course leaves August the 6th, so not a lot of notice for this one, but get on and get amongst it if you can. There's still a few spots left. So go to spearfishingcourses.com.au or Salt Sessions and check that out. Finally, a massive shout out to the patrons. I've had a couple of new ones come on board. I view patrons as investors in what we're trying to do here at the Noob Spearo, which is make a better informed spearfishing planet safer, front of mind, just embracing the selective and sustainable aspect of this lifestyle from ocean to the plate. And so massive thanks to all the patrons who put fuel in the Noob Spearo outboard every episode. Without further ado, let's get into it. Ollie Craig, here we go. Adreno stocks equipment for noobers, the gear you need for all things freediving and spearfishing. The Adreno spearfishing team froth on helping customers learn about the latest in spearfishing equipment, local diving, upcoming trips and events for Spearos of all levels of experience. There's no ego in there. You're going to meet cool people that love this spearing lifestyle as much as you do. Visit them in store in one of their huge mega stores around Australia. Chat to one of their friendly team members. Take advantage of the Noob Spearo discount code. Save $20 on every purchase over $200 in store, online, easy savings. Pump in the code Noob Spearo if you're shopping online or in store. Mention it to one of their friendly team members and save $20 over $200. That's right, use the code Noob Spearo in store. Shop with Adreno, our partner for more than 200 episodes.
I was left with an empty cooler after missing and wounding a bunch of fish with a shoddy spear gun. A work colleague urged me to speak to Naptonics, and I'm so glad I did. Without Jerry and the Naptonics team, I would have kept missing bulk fish and coming home to my wife empty-handed. Now I can focus on slaying monster hogs and groper and covering the deck of my boat in blood.
Never buy a shitty piece of equipment again. Shop Naptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10% and go spearing with confidence. Jerry says if we sell it, we believe in it, we trust it, and dive it. Shop Naptonics.com. Free shipping for the lower 48 for orders over $199, and you can save 10% when you use the code NOOB10, NOOB10 at Naptonics.com. Hoorah! All right, g'day Noob Spearo community. Today I'm joined by an avid outdoorsman, a hardcore hunter, full-on frother. He's a great Spearo. He's outspoken, absent of apathy. He's the Indiana Jones level adventurous. He makes Bear Grylls blush and Chuck Norris cry. How does that sound, Ollie?
I'll take it, yeah.
I wrote a bit of a spiel for you, bro, because
I'll add that to my YouTube description, yeah.
Yeah, do it. It's Ollie Craig, guys. For people that don't know Ollie, he's got a fantastic YouTube channel. I don't know why it's taken me this long to get him on the podcast. He's been requested at least, I'm not joking, a half dozen times, and every time I just haven't been able to get to it. And so, Ollie, mate, fantastic to have you on the show finally. You've been making the Noob Spearo top 20 YouTube channels, and you did it with ease, bro. You make good stuff.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. All good. We're here now, so yes, get into it, man.
You got a colourful background, eh? Were you a professional rugby player?
I fucking wish. No. Yeah. By the way, sorry guys if I throw the F bomb around a bit. It's kind of in my vocab, so apologise in advance. But I'll try not to.
Ollie, F Craig.
No, I did play a bit of footy. Played a bit of red rugby when I was younger, but never really. I didn't grow, until a bit later than most. And growing up in South Auckland, New Zealand, you're against all the big island boys, and they're fully grown at 3 years old. So you're but hard to get ahead.
I can see you niggling around the back of a ruck though. You've got that sort of go about you.
Well, that was me, number 7, but just didn't grow, so got ousted to the backs. But back in the rugby days,
I played 7 too, flanker, the dirty old Lucy's. I've got a cousin still playing for the Crusaders actually, Cullen Grace. He's playing number 8 for the Crusaders.
Yeah, right.
So, mate, New Zealand's a fantastic place to grow up. I moved to Australia in my early 20s, but I very much I watched your YouTube channel. It fills me with nostalgia, and it makes me wish that I had been able to get hold of the lifestyle that you lead earlier on in life. Talk to me about how it all started for you, because you're a mad keen bushman, hunter, and then you've got the ocean thing going as well. Who got you into it? What was your segue into it?
Well, pretty much both. The hunting and fishing was fairly later in life. I grew up just smashing birds with the slug gun. I was little air rifle. That was always born and bred into me from my dad, and the odd bit of fishing and stuff. But I didn't even hear about spearfishing until, well, when did I join the yachts? We'll get into probably 23, 24. Never even heard of it. The first time I actually shot a fish was with my mates. I'd booked a batch in Cook's Beach, Whitianga, around that area back in the day for my 21st, and we went out with a couple of Hawaiian slings and instinctively, just smashed up a whole lot of kinna sea urchin for the overseas guys, and just shot anything that moved onto it.
Red monkey?
Massive bomb.
Red monkey?
We did, but we actually did eat it. We actually put in tinfoil back in the day on the barbie, and it was actually fine. It was good eating.
They're actually really good eating. They're just
I know they are. Yeah.
Just so slow growing, and there's so much stigma about shooting them, but your story is an honest one, and I think a lot of Spearos when they start, a lot of people that have not had a background line fishing or anything like that, they have absolutely no idea how to ID species. And spear and ID, unfortunately, is not a great way to do it. As if you've been around spearing for a while and you see those classic social media ones go up what's this fish? Can someone ID this for me? We all look at it and kind of cringe. But if we're honest about it, when we all started, it's often a pretty common story.
Oh, and we just didn't have social media back in the day. We probably would have put the same posts up. Yeah, people are quick to judge. But did a big red monkey bomb up like quite a few people had. And but that was it. And then it wasn't until about 3-4 years later, joined the decided to get into super yachting. So got a gig on an Explorer yacht, and was in Florida at the time, and flew me out to Puerto Rico and just landed on a super yacht, which the owners were just mad spear fishermen, chasing records, and just that was the purpose, or for a lot of them, of the trips. They'd try and incorporate a bit of family time, but we're chasing fish all over the bloody world. So it was straight into the deep end. Yeah.
Wow.
Predominantly blue water spearing. So we just first day on the job, we had some time trials, and you had to lie. What was the gun? A big Rife blue water thing. Can't remember the name of it. The island, 3 bands or 4 bands, big wooden gun, and we had time trials. It was a bit dodgy. We were a bunch of Kiwis on the yacht, and dry loading it on the side of the ship, and time trials to load it fully. And it was intense. And then just straight into it, man, chasing doggies, marlin, just all the big blue water, tuna, just everything. It was just no reef stuff, just straight in as a kind of like a deckhand for spearing. It was pretty interesting.
It seems, and it sounds, and I could be wrong here, so please correct me if I am wrong, completely opposite to the sort of the flavor and style of your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel is now very much almost like a living off the land. Your brand's called Primal Pursuit, and it's very much like a wholesome, Kiwi, just, let's go where opportunity sort of takes us. If the weather's favorable for hunting, and the Raw's on or something, we're going to go do that. If there's
Yeah.
Kingy's on at the moment and there's like, I've got the right crew, I'm going to go and do that. Whereas a lot of that blue water hunting where you're chasing records and stuff seems a little bit different. Like it's almost like you have a completely different headspace and mindset around what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, definitely. But I guess that's due to just limitations of living in New Zealand, and you just kind of play your cards what you get. But yeah, you do go through the seasons here, and most people just hunt right through winter, won't even chuck their wetsuit on, and then they dive in summer. But I think I'd try and do a bit of both. You can right through. So it's but if it was easier access and we had some blue water hunting close by, I'd be doing definitely a bit of that. So
you've done a bit too, though, in New Zealand as well. You've done, have you done like Wanganellas or the Three Kings or the White Island or?
Mate, I'm supposedly, this guy on YouTube, NZ Spearo dude, and I haven't been to any of these wicked spots. Haven't been to Three Kings, haven't been to White Island, been to the Mokahinau's once or twice. Like I haven't been to all the hot spots, as we would say, but we'll get there. No, I've done a bit of blue water off the west coast of Auckland. Chasing the marlin, got lucky on one of those. But other than that, just pretty inshore, eh? Yeah.
How old are you?
32.
32. And so so you started, like you saying, like 22, 23. So about 10 years you've been at it now?
About 24, I think. 24.
Okay.
Yeah, and thought this is bloody cool, watching all these guys just annihilating fish. There was a bit of that, but just saw some, it was like, what is this sport? I can't believe I've never heard of it. And it was still relatively smaller in New Zealand, even, 10 years ago, and it's just gone mental worldwide, I guess.
Luke Potts sort of grew up to the north of you a wee bit. Did you start watching his videos when you were starting? Because like his YouTube sort of faded out, I think with his health issues and stuff. But like he was massive on the show. And I really enjoyed yarning with him back in the day and watching his videos. Was that an influential channel for you when you were starting?
Yeah, totally, man. Wicked content. Yeah, you got to give it to him, eh? And good diver. Yeah. Who wasn't watching his? Yeah.
Have you watched his comedy? His new comedy?
Yeah, I saw one of them having a go at me.
I remember seeing a picture of you, a bit of a video. You featured in a cameo in there with a good bit of a rat, and
I made my 10-15 seconds of fame. Yeah.
I watched that and I was laughing. Okay. I didn't know if you guys had a friendship or any sort of relationship before.
I've never met him personally, no. But videos, for sure.
You featured in one. Any ill feeling about that, bro? Or did you just have a chuckle?
Oh, I just have a chuckle, yeah. It's I won't go into that too much, but
yeah, you're right. I had strong ideas about COVID too. Largely, I steer clear of any of the political circus on the show and discussions about it, but I have very strong views as well. I actually got suspended and lost my job due to some of the stuff. So, like, I don't want to talk about it on a spearfishing podcast. I love what we do. We don't need to go. But I thought I'd just bring it up because it was a sort of a point of curiosity for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty hard case. So I thought that had blown over because I was, obviously anyone who followed me for a while on Instagram and stuff would have seen the video I put up. But I thought, fuck, there's enough of this on the internet. I'll just, stick to what I'm doing and sharing spearfishing videos. And I think it was a good call. Yeah, there's enough people speaking up online and debates. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but there's something to be said about being bold, and I respect it because so many of us self-censor in order to make sure we don't upset people about, stuff that's really not 100% on brand. Like if you've got a lifestyle spearfishing brand and you're sharing a political belief about whatever the flavor of the day is, we don't have to talk about that. But like, it's hard to sometimes be yourself, and a lot of us have got so used to trying to please everyone that it's hard to be yourself and say what you actually believe about stuff. So good on you for doing it, and I admire it. So hats off to you.
Mate. Yeah, we'll leave that.
Yeah, all good. Back to the spearing and even if we can go back a bit further to the hunting. So you're in South Auckland, like so it's a urban area, heavily populated. Hunting's not accessible to everyone in a big city. Talk to me about how that sort of happened.
Well, it's not like as South Auckland would say, for people in New Zealand, kind of like Papakura or Manurewa, Manukau, it's further out in the countryside. So I am pretty much surrounded, by farmlands and stuff, and where I live now. So, but having said that, anywhere in Auckland, you are, if you're in the know, within an hour from some good hunting for meat and all that stuff. It is actually quite close if you know the right people. Not so much dockland. So I just grew up out in the farm side and had access to
slug
stuff
guns
to shoot from a young age. But I never really got into serious hunting like deer and stuff until probably 20s. In my 20s. But and found it and loved it, and only really hunted meat. Never got into trophy hunting until probably 3 or 4 years ago. Did my first proper like raw trip down to Fiordland, and whole nother buzz. But pretty much just hunted for meat for years.
A lot of people live for these trips, like that Fiordland one in particular. A lot of guys try and combine it with a bit of diving as well, as there's some fantastic opportunities down there, hunting and below the water, above and below, really. So
but I kind of never really understood it, but then it was just a complete crossover from spearing, so I just clicked straight away. So I'm right into it now, just loving it. Just got back from a tar hunt down south.
I saw. I was going to ask
that's just magic, man. Yeah,
you shot a big bull, didn't you? I'm looking at your Instagram. If people want to follow, it's Ollie_Craig. Photo here says Southern Alps, New Zealand. Unreal few days away chasing Himalayan bull tar, which are a pest species, but introduced, weren't they?
It's a big debate going on about the tar. I haven't got too much into it, but they do a fair bit of damage. But I really don't know too much about it to comment. But they're introduced, and I think we're definitely one of the main countries outside of the Nepal and stuff where you can hunt them. There might be a few more countries introduced now, but predominantly, people all around the world come to New Zealand to hunt them. It's a big thing.
Talk to me about challenging and hunting them. I understand they're sort of up in that alpine country, so it's pretty like scrubby stuff. And
it is hard. So I jacked up with this guy, and I'm going to do a bit of a swap for him. He's going to come up and do some kingy hunting and stuff, a bit of a spearfishing trade for hunting. And shit, man, I've done some hard things in my life, man, and I've done some bloody hard things, but this day it was just the hardest thing physically and mentally I've done in my life. Like it's steep country, it's mental. We climbed up to about 2,000 meters elevation, and by the end of that day coming down, I was absolutely broken. Luckily, I had a tar for the efforts, but it was just, man, it's you see why a lot of people chopper in. But we did it the real hard way. It was awesome though. Yeah.
There's climbing mountains like where you've got established tracks too and all the rest of it, and then there's hunting in that country. It's a completely different thing. Like,
mate, it's just mental. And trying to keep up with the guy he's been up there since 5 years old, getting carried up in backpacks. He was literally a mountain goat himself, and you don't want to be too soft and complain or anything, so you just put up with it. Man, I was it's broken. Yeah.
Does spearfishing fitness carry over onto land hunting at all? Do you think there's any sort of, because guys talk about CO2 tolerance and VO3 max, and somehow how just general fitness relates to difference? What have you kind of noticed? What correlates well and what translates?
In terms of fitness, no, man. Well, in my personal, it was just. I thought it would have. I'm a pretty fit dude in general, and reasonably diving fit. I think, man, it was intense. Like I was gone, man. Like hunting, absolutely. All the hunting aspects of it, and wind and elements, and that definitely crosses over. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I found the fitness was just nothing to cross over.
Do you find that as your channel gains greater popularity and visibility that you're getting more opportunities?
Yeah, totally, man. And that's what I think. That's one thing I love about it, man. Like, there's days out there, and you just go, what am I doing? Do I really want to continue this or not? Just it's not common, but you get these days, and then you just go, nah, man. Like the people I'm meeting and avenues it's opening up, and I just love meeting new people, and then you get to go down there or fly to another country and this, and just new places like me, new places, new people, just new experiences. That's what I live for. So it's definitely a major plus of the channel, and just meeting new people. But
are you starting to earn a decent income out of it? I'm not that I'm pretty hopeless at keeping up with YouTube, bro. Between 4 kids and a job and this, sometimes even the channels I love, they just kind of go missing. How many subscribers have you got now? And is it making
I'm surviving off it, man. Living, not like a huge amount, just somewhere reasonable.
45,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, just ticked over 45,000, I think.
Yeah, well done, man.
So it's pretty small still, man. So I look at guys that are a couple of 100,000 subscribers and stuff, and you go, they'll be doing pretty well, man. Yeah, they'll be pretty comfortable. So there's hope.
You do a lot of longer form videos. I'm looking at your videos. You're 30-minute plus. Like a lot of these are up around that 50-minute mark. That's a full-on TV show, really.
Yeah. Definitely, it's probably not the best for algorithms and all that stuff on YouTube, but then you get comments from guys that love it. They love the long form, probably more than you get comments saying we want shorter form. So I just edit videos that how they come out is how they come out. I don't try and cut them down, and it's just it just comes out whatever it comes out like.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. One of your videos has had 1 million views. Spearfishing and freediving the Alderman Islands. There's a couple up here over 400,000 views. It seems like you've had a couple of good hot viral vids that have got some real good traction.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. It's crazy how
I just don't. Yeah. You think you get it, and then it just no.
So you're a bit more of an artist rather than a scientist of your YouTube channel. You just kind of just do you, and then you just sort
probably,
of see
man.
what happens.
Yeah, I guess so, and it's probably true. Actually, all my family are kind of artists for livings, musicians, and all this type of stuff. And not the the scientific method, but it wouldn't help. It would help, but
we might geek out a bit more on your YouTube channel as we go. But so, all right, so you sort of got thrown in the deep end. You're doing these super sailing things. What did you call it again? Big
super yachting, so luxury yachting.
Yep.
It was a big Explorer. 50-meter yacht, helicopter, bloody 4 other tenders on it. Just adventure.
And I'd imagine a lot of the guys you're going out with are pretty competent.
Yeah, so quite a couple of the guys who've actually you've had on the podcast. I don't think they'd be worried about being mentioned, but Francisco Lafredi.
Yeah.
He was one of the earlier guys I'd seen come on board, and I was just amazed. I was deckhand, would take them out to these just totally remote spots, middle of nowhere. There, down they go, disappear for a couple of minutes, and you're freaking out because you're kind of, you need to bring it back. Yeah. And but they pop up, of course. They just got these ridiculous breath holds. But I remember one day, a couple of days actually, with Francisco on board, and had all the fish just lined up on the deck, and they're just every single fish. I still remember it vividly. Had this spear hole, just clinically, you can measure it 3 centimeters behind the eyeball, just into the brain, and every fish has had this one ... and it was just, we were just fascinated that he was just so accurate. Yeah, and so he's spoken about it.
Yeah, so when you listened to his interview, you were like, okay.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but
how's your accuracy these days?
You have your good and bad days.
Mate, I have crap weeks. I'm going to be honest with you. Some days it's just like you can't hit a barn door. But I mean, these days, the longer you do it, you kind of you realize what recipe you like in a spear gun and a setup, and you kind of stick to that. And then it removes so much doubt, because you start doubting yourself. You doubt your gun.
You don't, but I just like trying out new things, including new spear guns and setup. So it's not ideal. You're right. You need to hone in on one product, but if you landed it, that's all that matters.
So you're out on the super yacht. You've got guys like Francisco Lafredi. They've got pinpoint accuracy and massive breath holds, shooting awesome fish. Did that make you feel like an imposter when you were jumping in and having a crack, or like how did that
Well,
sort?
we didn't really get to actually dive that much. Like we were just, getting the fish on board, they're just throwing fish at us, and would deal to them and stuff, and reloading guns for some guys because we had quite a few elderly guys, 60s and 70s, which was really cool as well. Like just still hard out into it, diving deep, shooting big fish. It was cool to see. So that was fascinating actually. Yeah, some old fellas just still going hard in the sport. But yeah, I don't know what you asked me. I just forgot.
No, you're right. You're right. I was just like about feeling like an imposter, maybe if you're diving.
No,
around.
not at all, because we weren't even divers ourselves. But yeah, I kind of get what you mean. But eventually we just, thought, oh, well, time to get into it ourselves. So yeah, we were in South Africa at the time, luckily, and just we didn't even really know brands or anything. A lot of the guys were using big wooden guns on the boat, rifles and stuff. We just landed and went to the local spearfishing shop, typed it in, and happened to be Rob Allen Dive Factory. So we just had a bit of cash, as you do when you're working on the super yachts. You've got no living expenses. You just getting paid in cash. So we just went in and bought everything that we wanted, and that we might need that couple of 2 suits, one in each color, and just went hard. But luckily we landed on some good gear at the time, and still using those guns to this day.
South Africa's kind of like Japan for automobiles. South Africa's like that for spearfishing gear, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just kind of like you're right, like Toyota AK-47 just don't die. So stuck with it since.
Yeah, you have stuck with it. Yeah, you love your Rob Allen gear.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it too. Like it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's great gear. Like he's onto a good thing. Tried to get him to sponsor the podcast at least 15 times, but I just have to market it for free for him now.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that just don't need any marketing, eh?
Nah, his product speaks for itself, to be honest. And it's being more and more widely adopted in the US as well, which is a massive opportunity for him, I guess. So you're on these super yachts, you get all the gear, and you're in South Africa. Did you start doing some diving there as well?
We went, we got the gear. I think we went out one day to try and get some yellowfin, if I remember correctly, with what's the old name down there, Tommy Botha or something.
Yeah.
He's quite a classic down there, the Botha float, tuna float or something.
Yep.
At the time, he was showing us this because we had seen quite a few numerous spear guns come on board, all these Spearos around the world on these trips. He had this inverted gun that he'd built himself, and that was the first one I'd ever seen. And I didn't actually see them inverted rollers pop up to years later. He seems always to be I don't know if he still is right into it, but ahead of his game slightly. And but yeah, we didn't have any luck there on the tuna because they get some massive yellowfin down off Cape Town. We're based there for a couple of months. Then we cruised up the west coast there all the way to St. Helena Island, which a lot of people won't know about. It's south of Ascension Island, which a lot of people have heard about, all the big videos of the 100-kilo tuna up there and, MK and stuff. And that was just one wild place, St. Helena Island, amazing. At the time, the airport wasn't open, and you could get there from a 10-day boat ride from Cape Town. I think it was 10 days, I believe so. 5 days, quite a big trip in a boat, And
wild
we got stuck into it there, and fishy place, man. Like I think the first real fish I shot there was an amberjack, around 16 kilo. That was huge for me at the time, and I was hooked. Yeah, done. It's all over. Got the bug. But
Do you still get that same sense of excitement when you shoot a kingy? Because AJ's and kingies like similar dirty fight, similar size and shape to the fish. I
love shooting kingies. I just love it. Yeah, I just love that. It's like shooting a deer, and you just hear that whack, and you just know you got some meat, and it's just I love it. It doesn't get a big fish, and there's plenty of them. There's heaps of kingies around.
One big kingy too. It's just so much meat, like it's so much food, and it's I love it. I love the taste of it. Like I think they taste really good in temperate water up here in Queensland and southeast Queensland. In Australia, they're a little bit different, and sometimes you get the parasite that makes them mushy at certain times of the year.
I know about that, eh?
Yeah. But New Zealand kingies, I don't know, something about that cold, nutrient-rich water. They just seem to be fat and just delicious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No complaints there. They're mean, man. Just so versatile. Yeah. So freeze well. People get a bit weird about freezing fish, and they say, only eat it fresh and give it away. Yeah, give heaps away, like most of my fish. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with freezing a few fillets. What's wrong with that?
No, nothing.
As long as you eat them.
Sometimes I think we're a bit spoilt with how much of the resource we have access to. So a lot of Spearos get really snobby with what they eat and don't eat, and so it's funny watching people as they go.
It's a bit of a weird community at times. Yeah.
Yeah. It's vibrant and very diverse, but also occasionally there's a lot of quirky people, and everyone's opinionated too, which is great. Because you don't
That's great.
you don't have many boring conversations, that's for sure.
No.
Kingy's like if you shop placement's pretty massive with Kingy's, eh? Talk to me, like, have you done a video on your channel explaining to people that are probably newer to the sport and chasing Kingy's how to do it well? Because there's a lot that can go wrong.
Not specific. I suppose I've always had bits and pieces of voiceovers and stuff in between. You'd have to go back, but I've actually been getting worse lately because as you go on, you kind of think, oh, well, I've been spearing for this many years. I should be doing stone shots, And I've just this last year, I've probably been, I've probably lost the most kingies in my whole time diving. Just been trying to go for kill shots in the head, and if you miss, it's you're hanging on by a thread, or you hit them low in the jaw, they rip off. But for years, I just did the classic behind the pectoral fin, high chance hitting the spine, and it's just always a safe holding shot. Never lost a fish until literally this last year. I've been trying to do stone shots. So, but when they pull off, it is nice.
Something about that central body mass, like having a bit of room for margin for error, I think is huge. Like high percentage shots rather than absolute precision. But I hate wounding fish, and but I've done it lots of times, and
we all have, unfortunately, but it's part of it, as we know. But you just can't go wrong. Shoot it behind that peck. They got a big hunk of steel in them, and they hurt. Yeah, rip them up.
When someone puts a pretty shit shot on them, and the kingy's got a lot of fight in them, have you watched that go pear-shaped a few times with particularly with people that are fairly new to hunting them?
Yeah, and they're generally, they've just taken the shot too far away. People lots of times ask me, how far does a spear gun shoot? And you go, mate, I'm shooting mostly around probably 3 meters max. Everyone thinks they're bow and arrows when you're getting into sport, as what I did. I had no clue how far they shoot, and people are just, think they just keep going for 5-10 meters, and that's when you often see they're just long shots. There's no excuses. If you're around 3 meters, you can hit them right where you want to, really.
Yeah. I mean, water's like, I think 300 times denser than air, so like it slows down a shaft so quickly. Even overpowered guns, like they just they don't travel far very fast or with a lot of power. And like in New Zealand too, you're probably that 120 gun double rubber.
Yep, the old classic.
Yeah, and I mean, you're never going to shoot anything probably up beyond 5 meters with that.
Like, if lucky 5 meters. Yeah, no, that's almost at the complete end of its range. Yeah, dropping. So just get closer. Generally, you're going to be fine. And then if you don't have too many sharks to deal with, you would get a nice holding shot. It's not right at times.
Talk to us about sharks and trying to take fish around sharks. What are your sort of rules of thumb? And
again, like most things, I'm probably not the guy to talk because I'm a bit of a cowboy out there with safety and stuff. But I'll speak my experience here. I actually haven't had too many problems up until this summer, and I've lost, I think, 3 this last summer gone. But again, they're generally just at the hot spots where everyone goes. If you're diving a new piece of coast and stuff, I very rarely even see bronze whalers. They do congregate in my experience. But I've been pretty bold, and I just think if I've got a clean holding shot, I just rip the fish up as hard as I can to the surface. And as soon as you get them close to you, this is for bronze whalers, generally they back off. But yeah, again, not a thing to promote. That's just my experience, and maybe I've been getting lucky. But I just think if you get that fish up fast, they do back off. A lot of guys like to just let the fish go around and round and round and round. I do watch a few videos and I go, just pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easier said than done, though. They're tough fish.
Well, it depends on your confidence in your shot. It depends on the species that you've got on the end of it, because some of the soft flesh species just tear off as soon as you try and put any sort of hard tension on the line to pull them up. And and also when you pull them as hard as you can, often they'll pull you under, and it can be a bit of a battle for it. But I hear what you're saying though, and the other side of it is letting them dangle and fight and play and muck around, and then the sharks come in, get their blood up, and if you feed them, then you're starting to train them to continue to do that because they get rewarded for it.
But I say that, but then I thought I'd land a couple of these fish this summer, and they just got chomped. So it's just too many variables, eh?
Yeah,
give it a try. But yeah, luckily we don't have the bulls and tigers and stuff like in Aussie and other warmer climates. Just dealing with bronze whalers here in New Zealand predominantly. So they're very manageable. Yeah.
Makos, have you been in the water with a mako?
Haven't seen one. Haven't seen a great white. I do want to see both in the right circumstances. I'm sure I'll get my chance soon enough. But
everyone talks about the right circumstances. I feel like you want 50 meters visibility and no struggling fish on the end of a spear, and a good buddy.
I did the cage diving. Actually, that was kind of before I got into the spearing in South Africa with the whites. That was pretty fascinating. And as you get into spearfishing and learn a bit more about the ocean and stuff, you probably wouldn't back that or do it again. But it was pretty cool. So saw some good whites there and Guns by Bay, which I've heard is all cleared out by the orcas. Have just come in and demolished these orcas.
Yeah, right.
And they've just demolished the whites. And they've all just moved out. Orcas have taken over. Amazing things. Yeah, so I don't know if that tourism's bounced back or if they've moved back. Yeah, fascinating.
Crazy. Yeah, like the orcas are a real interesting one to read about too. Like they adapt and they to their local sort of context, and they have these different hunting styles. Like, is it New Zealand? No, it's South Africa where they jump out and then they land on the backs of the sharks, don't they? Then they just eat the liver or something. Is that right? Yeah.
Pretty surgically looking removed, livers. It's amazing. And they just wash up. They're having these just fully mature whites just washing up. And it's only one animal that does it. It's the orca. Same with the stingrays here in New Zealand. And, it's crazy.
Oh, they do that to the stingrays as well, yeah.
Yeah. I hunt different animals around the world. So New Zealand, stingrays, some places are predominantly seals, other places sharks. Yeah, fascinating.
I heard the orcas in New Zealand now. I'm remembering now. I think they do a blast by a great white, and then they disrupt its balance, and they sort of put them in this weird stasis thing where I don't know where it shatters or ruins their equilibrium, and so they lose their place in the ocean. Then they come back and finish them off. Is that right? Have you heard that same thing?
I'm not expert. I think I might have heard that similar thing though as well. Yeah, they're just so clever, the orcas. I haven't seen them yet either, and I really want to swim with them. Again, a misconception from all the dream world attacks and stuff, but no attacks in the wild. I think they're part of the dolphin family. Quote me. They're just a big, friendly, intelligent creature. Yeah, to humans, should I say, friendly?
Unless they're in captivity, then they seem to.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Be obviously upset, but I wouldn't like it. We all watched Free Willy growing up. That was massive, and I think
totally.
We all. It was a little bit anthropomorphic, but I think it served a purpose too in educating us that sometimes these big intelligent animals, the last thing you want to do is see them locked away.
Yeah. So I'll get my chance one day with all those big apex predators.
Hey, buddy, how's your breath hold going? Really? You struggling? I do too sometimes. And that's why I've got something perfect for you today. I think you'll agree with me when I say that maintaining or even increasing your breath hold is a struggle, especially when you're not slaying fish every week. But what if I told you there was a way to train yourself easily and do it safely? Freediving for spearfishers at howtofreedive.com will help you to extend your breath hold understand your body better and put you in a better position when you actually get to go out spearfishing. This program, Freediving for Spearfishers, is not for noobs. It's for people who have some diving under their belts and understand basic spearfishing safety. But it's perfect for Spearos who want a guided, easy to follow and complete program with videos, a clear process and a set goal. The goal is a 5-minute static. And check it out, Freediving for Spearfishers at howtofreedive.com. You can get started for free, do the taster, and if you do decide to purchase, use the code Noob Spearo, NOOB to save some money if you do decide to purchase. Check it out at howtofreedive.com. Hunting a jobfish can be challenging. Throwing sand, hiding, hunkering down, and minimizing your profile, all of these techniques and more are why we call it the jobfish dance. Celebrate the jobfish dance at noobspearo.com with a sick range of gear made just for our community at noobspearo.com. Get your hands on some jobfish tribute gear only available at noobspearo.com. Taking you back over your sort of 8-9 years spearing, what would be like one of the silliest things you've done in the water, and what happened, and maybe what did you learn from it?
Silliest things. I've done a lot of silly things. I mean, I've just been a cowboy for years with my little ex-surf IB. People have seen that in the videos. Like, yeah, pretty bad, eh? Like, no safety gear whatsoever. Just a spear gun, a bottle of water, my mobile phone. But having said that, you know, it's pretty limited. You can't go too far offshore in that little boat. But yeah, probably just some of my missions I've been on in that thing. Like, I've done some ridiculous adventures, and yeah, just not a safety kit, no first aid, just nothing, eh? But yeah, that's just me. I'm a bit of a cowboy at times. Probably not the best advocate for the sport, but anyways, I just like to share my adventures. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're very critical of yourself and some of the stuff you've done in the past. Have you changed? Have you improved? Or are you still not where you want to be?
Well, no. Yes and no. Yeah. I'm just not worried about things, eh? And I'm just not worried out there. I'm not scared of dying, put it that way. Just in life in general. People go, are you scared of sharks? This and that. It's probably the most common question. I just go, no, I'm more scared of driving to the dive spot, which, you know, there's so many more things which are going to kill you than blacking out or getting eaten by a shark. It's, yeah. And you just can't worry. So you just get out there. But yeah, I have started to get a bit more aware, but I guess I'm still, 32. I don't have a family or anything, kids or anything. So I guess I don't have that at the back of my mind, which would change you a lot, I imagine. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, solo and reckless to some degree. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about running trips or courses or doing any stuff yourself, like with regards to teaching other people?
Thought about it. Maybe, in some sort of aspect. I still potentially want to do something like that down the line. Maybe it's not going to be all just the spearing, some sort of full-on experience. But I don't know if it will be in New Zealand. There's just so much red tape here and rules coming in day after day. Like, that's why I don't think there's any spearfishing charters here. Maybe one running. One or two. Obviously, you've had Davey on the podcast. It's just too hard for anyone to run and be profitable with all the regulations. So it just becomes a headache.
Julian Hansford had Spearo camp, I think, going for a little while. I don't know if he's still doing that.
Yeah, I'm actually unsure if he's doing that either. It's just it's a tough one, and it's not sure if that's going to ruin the experience. I've done enough deckhanding with the spearing back in the day on the yachts. Just get in there.
Yeah,
myself. Yeah,
red tape kind of ruins a lot of stuff with spearing. Like, I've heard at one time or another here in Australia, there was a few people that were very vocal about making a spearfishing license compulsory. They had this idea that having compulsory training for Spearos would reduce our risk and reduce fatalities and some very honourable type ideals. Like a lot of regulation, it comes through in this sort of guise, like, hey, we're going to help you and protect you, but then it ends up becoming kind of counterproductive, because I don't know about you, but most of the licenses and training courses I've done are pretty shit. and I haven't come away from them, particularly the compulsory ones like firearm safety, etc., with any more knowledge than I had before, other and just sort of jaded about just having to do them in the first place and pay money. It's just it becomes a barrier to entry rather than.
I totally agree, man. It just, in some sense, gives you a false sense of security because you think you're, this and that. Potentially some things, like you said, maybe just a boating license. I'd say there's probably more boating accidents running over Spearos than anything. Well more than, guys shooting each other or stuff like that. So
yeah, I've got a boating license.
Hum and a ha,
Everyone in Australia that operates a vessel should have a boating license, but I think the same amount of people still get run over. Like, and this is what I mean, like a dive flag and the rules around, even just navigating channel markers and stuff like that, and no wash areas, the basics, like doing the man overboard stuff that you do in a boat license test. A lot of these skills are very perishable, and a lot of people don't really seem to have paid much attention to it while they do their course.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, like the soup yachting was pretty fascinating industry. Like, like you said, you do all these tickets and this and that and licenses, and then you still get some, drunk captain who will just, run these multi-million-dollar yachts on a reef or this or that, and just, cowboys will be cowboys, eh? So, I'm not a fan of any much regulations at all. As people,
I'm teaching spearfishing courses, so you think I'd be one person that's pushing for it, like, hey, it's gonna triple my business overnight, but I don't. I like, one of the delightful things about running a course at the moment is the people that show up are extremely motivated, like-minded, and there's this vibe and there's this thing about people that have paid to come and have this experience and learn these sets of skills. They're extremely motivated. It's great to be around. It's great to teach. Teaching a course where everyone's been forced to be there would feel a little bit like going back to secondary school. So
investing in stuff yourself, or like courses and stuff. Yeah, when you do spend some money, you do take it seriously, but it's got to be you're on your own will. On your own terms. Yeah.
So, super yachting, spearing, hunting. How have you learned these things? What's your been your path to mastery in all of these different fields of endeavor? How do you get better?
Just time in the water, and people ask me all the time, how do you improve your breath hold? It's time in the water. Just time. Yeah, like I grew up, it's been years just walking around paddocks and bush with my rifle, just shooting birds, shooting anything that moved. No, I didn't shoot everything, but I guess that, just hunting. That was where I started and moved into spearing, and it's just being out there, man. Yeah, as on this podcast, everyone heard it many times. As the more misses you get and all the cliches, the more stuffed up on opportunities, all that stuff. Yeah, it's true. Cliches are cliches for that.
So one thing I'm picking up from you is you're pretty hard on yourself. You're very sort of reflective and you write yourself off a lot. Do you think that pays into learning? So like you go out, right, and you have a shit day on the Spear, you bugger up 4 fish, and whatever happens, maybe the motor breaks down on the way home. Are you the sort of guy that gets home and then you go, all right, here's what I did wrong for that, and that. I'm not going to do that again. And then you like that? Is that sort of how you would approach it?
Well, yeah. If you don't do that, you're screwed. You're not going to advance much, if anything. So you need to. It's just like anything.
Yeah.
If you're not going to, evaluate what's just happened, well, you're not going to learn. Yeah. And that's why some people don't improve, in anything in life, because they just, you got to be somewhat hard on yourself.
Yeah.
But,
sometimes it pulls the joy out of it too, though. Like I do it. Albert Einstein said, I think the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. But I honestly feel like in life, like sometimes with a family and a job, it might be like I just had a newborn. It's 2 months or something between dives, jump back in the water. Feels like I'm learning and doing all the same dumb shit I did the last time I went diving. And about halfway through the day, I finally warm up, the gears click in, and then it's like all the muscle memory comes back, and that's kind of when the day of diving actually starts. But I've had 3 hours of just kind of making a mess of it to get there.
I guess it depends, like what you're doing in life. If it's, it depends on certain things. If you're just out there just to, just chill out, zone out, and just have fun, well then, as long as the mistakes aren't, shooting your spear into someone's leg for a second time or this and that, you it's all good, There's times to just, relax, and you don't have to be a pro and keep improving. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
if you
hard
want to
when you're
improve,
very hard on yourself sometimes.
but yeah, I think I generally am a bit like that. Yeah.
With your YouTube videos, right? Are you like, there's a bunch of different ways of planning these videos. Do you ever come up with a premise for a video and then go out and shoot it? Or do you just go on missions, film it, and then do the video later? Do you do anything planning wise?
Only if it's a really like a probably only like once or twice, like when I was trying to get a marlin, like you had somewhat of a idea, but yeah, it's I find it never works out. I just film and see what happens, because yeah, you really don't know what's going to happen too much. Yeah, and it would probably help out with videos and writing a script and algorithms and stuff. But yeah, I'm lazy and just like to do things. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's lazy. Like sometimes it's like I scripted some stuff and started doing some stuff, and even like I've been making a video course and some things like this. When you overscript something, you feel like you're acting or you're bugging it on. It kind of pulls that authenticity out of what you're doing, and it also pulls the joy out of what you're making and why you do it in the first place. Yeah, I don't get those vibes from your channel. It doesn't feel canned to me.
And I've talked to quite a few people who've enjoyed my content or similar channels, and you see some of these TV shows, you're right, and you just can't get into it because it's just they have these specific phrases they say, and it's just like it's so weird.
Oh yeah.
Very high quality content, and it's amazing, but that's why you see some of these just random video YouTube channels of guys just go pro, and they're just killing it, and people they just click and vibe. Yeah. People aren't stupid. You can see through fake bullshit and scripts and stuff. Yeah.
Rodney Pasidi, like I don't know if you've seen his channel, Rocket
Kid.
Yeah, he's like that, and it's just like you vibe with him because you're just like, and I feel like I wish like mainstream content creators would kind of get with the program. Like we just like genuine people being themselves, and I mean not everyone's personality is
all the self-censoring,
Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
And it's you got to catch yourself out sometimes and just be aware. And I very rarely look back and even watch any of my videos ever. I can't just make it and forget about it. But you do watch one back and you go, oh god, that was definitely a bit cringy. It wasn't like that, but you got to be careful and just I wish more people were like that, because there's some awesome high quality content creators that are just a bit too scripted, but vice versa. You can't win everything, can you?
Yeah. Who's your favorite? If you had to, like, do you model any of your stuff off anyone else? I mean, do you ever sort of go anywhere for inspiration? Are you ever inspired by other YouTubers or anything like
that? I don't know, man. Not really. I kind of think I've got my own kind of thing. I watch other YouTubers every now and again. I don't watch much at all, but a lot of high-paced stuff out there, and you get a few tips. It's good to watch a few things every now and again because you think, oh, that's pretty cool, But
one vibe I'm picking up from you right here, like I remember, like growing up, and people were like, like if you see a leader you like, like you watch what they do and you replicate their behavior. But I'll be honest with you, like most of the jobs I had really shit managers, and I learned more from what they did wrong and saying to myself, I'm not going to do that, than I did from what they did right. Do you sometimes like cringe and then go, oh, I've done that, I'm not going to do that again?
Yeah, shit, yeah, man. Yeah, totally. But that's a tough one because a lot of people say, well, it depends what your reasonings are behind a YouTube channel or making videos and stuff. But if you wanted to, the old saying, if you want to, be successful and all that, you just copy someone, modify it, be better or something. But I just want to do my own thing. So that's why my channel's probably nowhere near as big as it could be, because I don't have what model, what works, and what works is putting a girl in a G-string and some big tits on the thumbnail. And I get comments all the time saying, why don't you just get a girl in a thong and you'll get a million views? And I go, probably would, because I see some pretty subpar videos and just chuck a big bunch of knockers on the screen and everyone's clicking it. But I'm not going to sell out, and I'll just do what I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's one reason I like you, Ollie. It's because you got your own personal sense of values and integrity about what you're doing, and that's probably why a lot of people like your content. And there's something to be said about getting 1 million views or getting like 100 from the people that are actually your people, because you're going to get 1 million views, but if they're not even the people you like, then why would you want to make videos for them?
Oh man, and I'm living, surviving, getting out there and doing what I want to do and stuff. And I've had opportunities to make a lot more money in my life, so I'm not just going to put some big booties on the screen to get those a few more clicks. It's all good, man. Plenty of ways to make money. You don't have to do stuff like that. But good on them if you guys want to do that. Fair call, whatever.
Talk to me about Primal Pursuit. You've got your own brand of shirts, stickers, hats. Talk to me about your gear, what your ambitions are with it. Are you hoping to obviously grow this as a bit of a revenue stream for yourself, but have you got greater ambitions for it? Are you going to make gear?
Don't know, man. I just did it. Yeah, quite a few people asking when you can do merch and this, and I thought, why not? Bit of a little side hustle. Definitely, you can a bit more money on the side. It's not going to hurt. So, I just kind of launched it. Got a few products on there. I might slowly start adding to it, but I just, you got to be careful. I've got to be careful. I don't want to turn into another retail shop. I did 3 years in retail. It nearly, blew my brains out. So, it's I don't want to be a warehouse, and it's a tough one. So I'll see where that goes. I've got a few things I'm working on this year, which I'll add to that, which are pretty cool. Products, services, whatever you want to call them. So, I'll just let that truck along on the side. I haven't done any marketing or anything like that. Just if people want to, buy, t-shirt.
I don't think marketing works for Spearos. Like, and marketers will probably get in my ear and tell me I'm a moron and I'm just doing it wrong. But I honestly feel like a lot of Spearos, they hate marketing. Like they, like ads. I find them unless they're funny or there's value in them, I find them distracting and annoying. And the podcast, I have some fantastic partners in here that I obviously create adverts for. I try to make them funny and upbeat and convince people of the value proposition. But I try not to make them too many disruptive and stuff like that. But every platform you go on these days has a lot of ads. It's pretty disruptive and just being marketed at all day, it kind of makes, and doing it to others, subjecting them to it, it makes you feel like, I don't want that association with my brand.
And that's probably why I haven't done it, because I just, I can barely bring myself to, say at the end of a video, if you want to, support the channel.
Like and subscribe, guys.
So, there's probably ways to do it, of course, but, it doesn't really vibe for me pushing stuff. That's why I kind of like, there's a couple of guys do, the Patreon and stuff. I've got a Patreon, but I don't even put any content on there. I don't push people there just because I just like putting stuff up for free and, whatever.
I'm a bit the same with my patrons. Like I'm about to make a sort of a email value sequence for them. But my view is like patrons, like for the Noob Spearo, I view them more as people that want to invest in the mission of Noob Spearo, which is, to make the world a more safer spearfishing community, more aware, better stewards of our ocean and its resources, and also networked and just all frothing and having fun on it. And if they connect with that mission, then they become patrons. But if they don't vibe with it and they don't have extra money, then don't do it, because it's just like if you want to back it.
There's probably a marketing guru listening going, you guys are both idiots. But
whatever, not a business person,
neither.
Yeah. And like I find a lot of Spearos like that. Like it's like you're grudgingly business people, and like sometimes the profit motive almost like feels a bit ugly at times. But it's like, even with running courses and stuff, like I want to make Noob Spearo my main bread and butter, so I can exit my work and do this stuff full time and make more stuff and better stuff.
Well, mate, you're gonna have to rethink everything. Rethink your attitude there.
Get rid of some of my naivety.
Yeah, there's ways to do it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Hey, back to spearing, bro, because I love, you listen to the show, I'm pretty bad. We just head off on random topics. Talk to me about species. Like in New Zealand, like arguably you're fairly limited. Like and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like it means that you see a lot of videos where guys are hunting snapper or kingies.
We're very limited, yeah.
But you've got other opportunistic species as well. Like you mentioned, you got marlin there at times of the year. You've got John Dory, and not that they're fantastic hunting, but boarfish and terraki, trevally. There's there are more species there.
Yeah.
But talk to me about making spearfishing videos. I mean, around what is your favorite species to hunt in New Zealand?
Just love smacking a big kingy, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do I say, man? What if I got choice between a kingy and snapper? Far out. That's a joke, man. Yeah. But I got to pick one of them, mate.
I love belting.
You're just going to have to reinvent that question for Kiwis, man. It's a far out. Boring answer. Yeah. Look, we're limited for species, but look, there's so many other places in the world where they're just absolutely jealous that we can just go out year round and just get a feed like that. Like, and that's a feed. Like some people come back empty-handed, but they've passed up a lot of reef fish, which are just actually, if you know how to cook, eating. But the blue water scene's actually finally getting some traction here. People are figuring out how to hunt albacore tuna. Marlin scene's kicking off, like the big blue water the scene's, it's starting to grow quite a lot as people figure out how to hunt species and whatnot. So that's cool. There's a big blue water comp here each summer now. So it is growing. Like I think we just haven't really tapped into that as much.
Well, a lot of it's boating big miles, isn't it? Because you're heading out to the shelf.
That's the only problem. So it's not for everyone. But yeah, plenty of tuna around. Like they're showing up in all sorts of spots now, and heaps of young guys just smacked over heaps of bluefin tuna just off Milford Sounds right at the bottom of the South Island this summer. So it's growing, but we're totally limited, man.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Yeah.
But it's the same thing with hunting too, with terrestrial based hunting, but no hunt's ever really the same. Even with kingies, like you get a big school, like you're looking for the biggest fish in the school. They're either there or they're not. Like there's not a lot of skill in hunting kingies once you learn how to control your body language. They are so prolific, but if you enjoy it and you still enjoy it after you've smacked 100 of them over the years, like why not just keep enjoying it?
Yeah, I agree, man. So, I don't think anyone doesn't enjoy smacking a good kingy or a snapper. So, at least we've got kingies. Without them, we would be really, really screwed. Yeah.
I was just thinking about like making a bit of a cameo video, like smacking. Sorry. Smacking another kingy with Ollie. And just having a kill reel and actually like just having fun with it. And like
maybe I'll put a montage of people disgusting to know how many I've shot actually. So maybe
if you have fun with it too, like you've got your own brand of humor by the sounds of it. A lot of it's pretty self-deprecating. Learn from the best. Adam Stern's courses at freedivingfamily.com are written and presented by some of the world's best freedivers and most experienced instructors. Lessons learned come from years of freediving and teaching at the highest levels and are now condensed and available for everyone. Go to freedivingfamily.com, use the code SPEARO, and you get 20% off any course. Now, there's Frenzel, Advanced Frenzel, Hands-Free Equalization, there's Mouthful and Deep Frenzel Equalization, even Bi-Finning Essentials. Get that finning technique right. It's the 1%ers that make the difference in spearing and allow you to have more time on the bottom, and you feel better even doing it. Go to freedivingfamily.com and use the code SPEARO to get 20% off any course. Adam Stern's courses at freedivingfamily.com.
In the world of freedive spearfishing, there's no magic breathing technique that's all of a sudden going to get you down and shoot massive fish at depth and holding big bottom times, but there is a way to do it safer and smarter, take down more fuel to maximize the time that you have there. Learn at noobspearo.com/TED with Ted Hardy from Immersion Freediving. If you take down more fuel, you can stay for longer. Learning to take a bigger breath is not such a big deal. Ted breaks it down for you with a free online course, noobspearo.com/TED. Take down 20 to 30% more air just by learning how to take a full breath. Again, learn how to do it free at noobspearo.com/TED.
Are you in the market for a new spear gun? Killshot Spear Guns has got blue water wahoo tuna guns, open track spear guns, enclosed track spear guns, rear handle enclosed tracks. Check them out at killshotspearguns.com. Even better, I've got some good news for you. You can save $30 on any Killshot spear gun at killshotspearguns.com. Use the code Noob. If you're in store, just say crikey mate, or say Shrek from the Noob Spearo sent you, and you'll save $30. Ed Martin at killshotspearguns.com. Check them out. Who are your funny dive buddies? Like, walk us through some funny stuff you guys get up to.
No, dive buddies. They don't exist, mate. No, no, I do a lot by myself.
Yeah, you are. You're a bit of a solo diver, like you said before.
Yeah, I love my alone time, so it's good. But yeah, I'm slowly, I do the odd dive with some other people. That's good. It's got its place. But I just, if you turn up late, 10 minutes to the boat, man, that's your chance. You'll never come back on. And people don't get it, eh? Like, lucky, and that's me, and I've got, quite a bit of time to deal with. But people who go out with people, and a lot of guys, they'll dive once every 2 months. It's their chance, no matter what weather they're going out there. And if these guys turn up late, well, far out, man. People don't have time for that, eh? But it's just, it's hard organising people.
I had a good mate. I taught him to spear. I've never shared this story before. And anyway, going spearing off Brisbane, sometimes you're in the boat for an hour at least, right? You get your weather lined up, you get your weekend, you get your crew, everyone's got the time off, boom, you're headed out. It's a Sunday, weather's perfect, And then midday rolls around, I've shot maybe 2 or 3 fish. Like I said to you, I've had that same shit start to the day that I always have. I'm just a Gumby. It's like starting all over again. And people are like, do you have a podcast? And, but anyway, about lunchtime rolls around and I'm just starting to get into gear, right? And my good mate, I taught him to spear, and he convinced me to bring his brother out one day. And I was like, oh, yeah, no worries. Cool. I love, teaching people, and it'll be fun. He comes out, lunchtime rolls around. I'm just kicking into gear. And he's like, what time are we going in? And I'm like, mate, when you commit to a day of spearing out here, it's dawn till dusk, buddy. It's a big day. This is it for me for probably a couple of months. I'm out here to have, a full day. Anyway, I've got to work night shift tonight. And I was just like, bro, what did you come out for?
Yeah, but no, I've had plenty of guys, taking out diving and had awesome days.
Yeah.
And that's good. But just, mix it up. No, I'm just, again, not a, person to copy, but I just love solo diving. There's quite a few guys in the community just the same. It's just our thing.
Yeah.
But not someone to copy.
Yeah. You're a bit introverted. You get a lot of energy from from being by yourself.
Yeah, I love being by myself. My own time. I'm totally okay with it. Yeah. And then like most introverts, a couple of beers turn the opposite, but it's all good. No, I'm totally okay. I just love doing my own thing. It's all good, man. Yeah.
All right, dive gear. You talked about Rob Allen before. Walk me through. You also talked about experimenting about spear guns. Walk us through sort of your evolution with spear guns.
Well, so first gun I bought was a 120 carbon tuna, they call it, or some GT, I think at the time. Anyways, 120 carbon Rob Allen, twin 16 mil rubbers, 7.5 mil shaft. That was a setup, and I was just using that for the first kind of 2 years, just shooting butterfish and anything. It was just, smashing everything. But overpowered even for like Kingies, like I think a lot of guns are overpowered for them, but good gun, and I've still got that gun to this day. I set it up now though with a 7mm shaft and a 214s little bands, 14mm rubber basically for all my guns now. A lot smoother, easy to load. It's all about band stretch and stuff. You've had Duncan on here, the guys like that who are a bit more technical, but band stretch is everything. And then what else have I? I've just picked up a few along the way. Eventually got into a roller gun. Love and hate relationship for a few years. It was just, couldn't quite figure it out, and then just got stuck on one motor. So I got a 100cm Rod Bell and carbon, 6.5mm shaft, 14mm rubbers, and it's just so light, so nimble, accurate as, man. Shoot any kingies and stuff. It's no issues with power, and that's probably my favorite gun now. Yeah, that's like my go-to little gun.
Have you shot big kingies with that?
25 plus.
Yep. Oh wow.
Range, and you'd be able to punch a 30 kilo one.
That's what you want. You want the confidence that you know you can shoot some of the bigger fish that come at you. That's the problem I have with my smaller roller. I sometimes just I've had it like not punched through on a few bigger Spanish mackerel, and sometimes you are taking like a 3.5-4 meter shot with some of those species, and they sometimes with the rollers they do throw a shaft far and pretty fast, but it seems to lack with a single roller. It just seems to lack sometimes that penetration power to get through a larger bodied fish, particularly when you hit it beyond sort of 3 meters. Maybe I don't know. I'm just that's just my.
I kind of agree. Like I never had issues with the 7mm shaft on the 120. I think it just has that longer range. But rollers, once you just got to have them set up well. They've set up well. They've just got a very small window. If it's not set up right, it's not going to shoot well. Where a traditional double band, you've just got so much of a bigger window if the bands are old and stretched and stuff like that. But I've talked to a lot of guys doing a lot of testing, including Rob and stuff, and there's no denying they've got more power and range and stuff for a shorter model. But once you get to those longer guns, 130 plus, then I don't think there's too much benefit. What I've heard from a lot of guys. Yeah, I haven't done the testing, but
What did you shoot? What did you shoot your marlin with?
It was just a 120 single roller. That was that same gun, my original OG gun. Converted it, chucked a roller on it. I actually had quite loose bands, and it only just punctured through the other side, but it was a fairly long shot. Lucky to land it, but I said the drop barb on it, and it just got stuck in the middle of the flesh. It's pretty lucky on that fish.
Have you got a video up of that one?
Yep. Somewhere on my YouTube. If you just Ollie Craig Marlin, it should come up, I suppose.
Oh. I'll link that up in today's show notes. People can go and have a look. I'm pretty curious myself. Is it a stripey or? Yeah,
stripey. So that's most of them here in New Zealand. Good numbers, and just I've been chasing them for a couple of years, 3 years. Not a hell of a lot of trips, probably 6 trips, and then just found a bait ball. Got lucky.
Walk me through it. What happened?
Well, lucky actually. One of the guys had polarized sunglasses on. We wouldn't have seen anything happen. Nothing would have happened if he didn't have these sunnies on. And we're cruising, saw a few boats in the distance. Usually when you see a few boats, they're all out trolling. If they're starting to merge together, someone's obviously marked bait on the surface, and they'll start kind of doing laps, figure of eights, and then another boat would join. And so if you see a couple of boats, generally that's a good indicator. So we saw, I think it was only 2 or 3 boats, headed over there, and there was literally two gannets sitting on the surface. And it's always a good thing when there's birds sitting on the surface, even if there's a couple, run past and see what's under. And sure enough, we got close, and massive bait ball. We couldn't see it. Driver said, "There's a massive bait ball right there." And we go, "What?" Chucked his sunnies on and like, whoa, quickly freaked out, absolute frantic, did a loop and somehow came back on. Like, it's quite deceptive out there. The currents are moving so fast, the bait ball's moving. Bit of a miracle, really. And then pretty much got pushed over the side of the boat. And it was a bit of another cowboy setup. Like, we had most Spearos, if you're targeting marlin, you're trolling without hooks in the lures. all of our lures had hooks. I keel over, the spear gun gets caught, and it's just crazy. There's the hooks flying past and absolute shit show. But got on the ball, and there's about 4 big stripies just underneath working it up. Probably another 20 minutes before it got to the surface where they would start smacking it. So quite early in the piece, and then this ball, it's unbelievable. It's just moving so fast out there, the current, and it's
what sort of bait?
Sorry, I think they were
Like a mackerel,
something kind of like that. Yeah, pretty small. Start with S, I think.
Okay. It's not a slimy mackerel.
No, there was another name, but
I don't know.
Thousands of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know the names of half the bait I'm looking at either, but like, I mean, it's such a big indicator with lots of species, but obviously with the striped marlin, like it'd be critical.
I should know. In New Zealand, we've probably only got 2 or 3 bait species as well.
Nah, you've got a few, man. You've got a few for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Just got lucky. This one came up right beside me, came out right in front of me, and I just smacked it right in the middle. And it was all on. It got tangled, the line and the bungee, the hooks from the lures from the boat. It was chaos, man. But I think I nicked the spine, so it was pretty buggered. But still did a few runs, about half an hour. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, got the job done.
How big did it go? And what was dispatching it like?
So it was buggered. Basically, I couldn't get a second shot. There was just a disaster. I had all these rod fishermen on board, and I'd had another roller gun set up, and it was all, anyways, long story, disaster. I couldn't get a second shot, so I just had to let this fish play until it died. So, yeah, went dead at about 10, 15 meters, swam down and got it up. But, yeah.
What'd it weigh?
95 kilo.
Holy moly. That's a
So it was good because
I thought you were going to say like 30 or something.
Oh, come on, bro.
Even a 95 kilo striped marlin, a 35 kilo one is impressive. A 95 kilo fish, it's a big fish.
It's all right. Like the clubs in New Zealand, they have kind of an unwritten rule. They don't want to weigh fish in unless it's 90 kilos. That's the benchmark.
Okay.
Because they do grow quite big here and stuff. So, but didn't quite make the 100. But I was happy with it. Yeah, leaves room for improvement. I'll still want to get another one day.
I like some of the unwritten rules, like, and this is the thing about being tied into a local spearfishing club or your local sort of area. Like, the fisheries rules and the guidelines and bag limits, size limits are very different than what the Spearos consider or even line fishermen, what they consider a good example. Because a lot of people they want to fish over a certain size. It means it's had a couple of breeding cycles or whatever, and it sounds like they might have something like that going there with the striped marlin.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a thing as well. People will catch something and it'll be about 70 kilos. It's probably buggered, like barely going to survive, putting it back. Some of them obviously don't, quite a big percentage. And they wouldn't want to bring that back to the boat ramp to be, embarrassed by the boys, get laughed at the boat ramp. But really, so yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I think if you catch something, just eat it. Yeah. Most of the time, that's my theory. But yeah, again, one of those debates.
Eating the stripey, was it as good as a red moki?
Not even close to a red moki.
A lot of people smoke up the marlin, but like some people, it's got a strong flavor profile, I believe.
No, it was absolutely stunning. I've heard good things. We're at raw sashimi, as we're cutting it up with a bit of lemon, absolutely beautiful, quite rich. Steaks, obviously smoked. Most people smoke it. You name it. We did quite a few things with it. I think it's kind of like a kingy, very versatile, very tasty. Yeah. No, nothing bad about it. But looked after well. Yeah.
I noticed with and having done a seafood cookbook, like a lot of people have very strong preferences for either reef fish or sort of more pelagic or game fish. Sounds like you like some of the larger body game fish flavor profile as well. Would that be fair or?
Nah, just whatever, man.
You eat everything?
Yeah, pretty much, except for I've actually only got one thing I don't eat out there, and it's anchovies. I don't get that. They're disgusting. But I just eat anything, man. It's all fish is good, eh? But Like I love red fish.
You into your kinner?
Oh, that's one other thing. Yeah, kinner. Nah, bro.
Yep. People are either for or against, like with
Man,
kinner.
I'm trying because I've read off heaps of stuff for years, olives and stuff, and you slowly, develop your palate as you age. But they're just disgusting, man. I've had a few out there. The males, I think they're the lighter ones. When I'm thirsty and hungry out in the water, I've had a few. I must say they were all right, but I'm going to learn. I need to just get some new recipes and because there's so many there. Surely it's a good resource I need to be tapping into.
I was over there a few years ago, and I was hanging out with Blair Herbert, and I met David Dupav and E.T., and she told me about some phenomenal kinner recipe she had because, they call it an uni in Japan, and there's a lot of it's looked on very favorably over there, and they've got really interesting ways of making it. She had this fantastic way of doing it. I can't quite remember how she did it, but I'll have to try and find that recipe because sometimes I think with some of the more like what would you call it? Like unfamiliar type things like sea urchin. It's almost nice to have a soft landing with like a recipe or a dish that's like quite palatable and easygoing. It's a nice gateway entry into enjoying
There's
them
got
a
to
bit
be.
more.
I mean, I'm sure there is. So I'll just need to experiment. I mean, I ate raw liver the other day from a Aotearoa shop for the first time because I've been trying to find ways to eat that. I can't stand the texture and taste of cooked liver, but raw liver, my uncle said it tastes like almost tastes like a fresh oyster. And I love oysters, so I ate this piece of raw liver still warm and it was crunchy and it was beautiful. So you just got to try things in summer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that surprised me. So I think there's hope for kinner, but we'll see.
Do you listen to Joe Rogan or watch Meat Eater or anything like that?
Yeah. Pretty big listener of Rogan. Meat Eater, I've watched a fair few of his as well. Yep, that's some good stuff. Yeah.
I think between Joe and Steve Ranella, they've popularized a lot of terrestrial-based hunting, and obviously Meat Eater now have got Kimmy Werner on board, so they're starting to do a bit more spearfishing stuff as well, which is pretty cool.
But seen that, which is cool.
Yeah, I think they've opened up our world to a broader audience, which is good and bad, because sometimes we like to protect our little spots in our little lifestyle. We don't really want or need everyone to do it.
Yeah, I guess. But hey, everyone, it's the thing. Like people say, oh, too many people join the sport, things are going to get stripped and stuff. But if you look at the bigger picture, more people just catching their own food, then there's less commercial, uptake, and I don't think that'll put a dent in it, but maybe in the future. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, more people the better, man. More competition, more gear innovation, all that stuff. Competition's good. Yeah.
Freediving for spearfishers at howtofreedive.com will help you to extend your breath hold, understand your body better, and put you in a better position when you actually get to go out spearfishing. This program is not for noobs, as this program is for people who have some diving under their belts and understand some basic spearfishing safety, but it's perfect for Spearos who want a guided, easy to follow and complete program with videos, a clear process, and a set goal. The 5-minute freediver works. Get started for free and see if it's for you at howtofreedive.com. There's a tester there. Use the code NOOBSPEARO, NOOBSPEARO, to save some money if you do decide to purchase. Check it out at howtofreedive.com. Freediving for spearfishers, a fantastic way to prepare, especially if you've got a big trip coming up. Get to that 5-minute mark, and it does translate to your diving at howtofreedive.com. This podcast is brought to you by aqualite.com.au. This is the best solution, bar none, for staying hydrated in the ocean. If you're a Spearo, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's a game changer. If you're doing extended trips and the cramp starts to set in and the old body's telling you, hey, that's enough, just get hydrated and it will save you a whole heap of woe. It's a groundbreaking product that can help you to stay hydrated. It's got low sugar, it's less acidic than other options on the market, it's rapid absorption, help you to maintain performance. Dehydration of just 1 to 2% can affect your mental and physical performance by up to 6 or 7%. And as when you're spearfishing, you can tell when dehydration is starting to affect you because your equalization goes out the window. Get Aqualite at aqualite.com.au. It's scientific rehydration that Spearos know and trust. I know because one works there, and that's why we've set up this discount code for you, 10% off when you use the code NoobSpearo at aqualite.com.au. Check it out. Australian-made hydration products tailored for Spearos and a whole bunch of other people that suffer from dehydration too. But check it out at aqualite.com.au. Use the code NoobSpearo to save 10%. Handmade spear guns from the USA, killshotspearguns.com, have made rugged, functional, simple spear guns utilizing the best components. Check them out at killshotspearguns.com. Save $30 on any timber spear gun. Use the code NOOB. Visit killshotspearguns.com. All right, bro. Well, we'll head out with actually, the rest of your dive bag. Are you still using predominantly Rob Allen gear, or have you kind of diversified a bit?
Just rocking his guns. What else? I mean, Seabuck fins. They're a bit of a composite fiberglass, carbon fiber mix.
They're a Kiwi,
quite nice.
Kiwi made thing, aren't they?
I think everything's Chinese made. No, they're I don't know where they come from. It was a Kiwi company, so I'm not sure. I actually don't know exactly where the fins are from. They're all good. It's been nice. Changing from straight fiberglass, I used to get quite sore ankles, stiffer fin. So it's been nice. Still just, hey, might change stuff in the future. Might move on from my Rob Allen. Who knows, man?
Sponsors? Have you got sponsors? Have you had sponsorship offers?
Seabuck look after me for wetsuit and fins. So Seabuck wetsuit, that's great. Been loving that. Rocking that for 2 years now, I think, maybe. Mask, geez, just some generic kind of GoPro mask off, and internet. Just fits, doesn't leak, doesn't fog. That's all you need.
You got beard. You got no beard, bro. Finding a mask that fits is easy.
Come on, bro. Just shave, man. No. don't go much there. So that's a bonus.
Nice.
What else is there for gear? All the basics, man. There's nothing too exciting about socks and shit. But what else is there, man?
Your GoPro. What are you filming on?
It's got the latest ones, the 11s. Lost 3 this year. Just
holy moly, that's expensive.
So I've done really well there. So I've just ended up. You just got to stay ahead. Get the latest when you replace them, so they're good. But
are you filming 2.7? Or what are you filming?
Yeah, I kind of just started mixing in a bit of 4K. I've got to play around and stuff. It's again, it gets a bit technical, that stuff for me, the editing. So I don't want to change it and bugger it up too much. But yeah, 2.7 seems to be enough quality, I think, for most people.
50 frames?
Something like that, man. Yeah. I should
see you geeking out on it. Oh, that's good. I should have probably told you, warned you I was going to geek out on a little bit with you. What about editing? What are you using for editing?
So I'm on Mac, so just Final Cut Pro.
Yep.
That's enough for me, man. I'm not too advanced in the editing. So yeah, I think most people use Adobe if they're on PC and stuff. It seems to be the winner. But Final Cut, I've had no issues. It's good. Easy. Yeah, because I used to use iMovie and stuff, and it's pretty similar. So
sometimes those low level cheap editing programs, you can still learn quite a bit about just editing by even using some of the less feature rich, sort of the cheaper end software. I think
I'd bet for guys like me and similar channels and stuff, we probably could use some bog basic thing because we're not touching the surface of the features. So yeah, people get caught up in buying these big, yearly memberships, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Man, just get something free. It's all you're gonna need here. Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we went through your gear. I think we pretty much covered everything. Are you diving a reel these days or a float and rig line?
Yeah, I've always used reels. I just cannot use a float line.
Yeah,
it's just not me. And people say, they're always going on about safety and reels and stuff. But from day one, we just got ours rigged at the factory with reels. And I actually find, well, depending on the float line, if you're using these cheap 3-strand float lines, I think they're the most dangerous thing out. Easily tangleable lines. If you've got a nice hard line, but from my opinion, I think reels are safer than float lines. There's less tangle, but that's just my opinion. And again, don't listen to me because
it's a good conversation to have. See, because everyone's it's contextually driven. If you're diving in current, there's a lot of boat traffic, then you want to have a float in and around you, because it gives you that,
Yeah.
that visibility, and having a reference point for your dive buddy and so on. It's a massive thing. Plus, the other thing with a reel gun is like if it locks up on you, you've got to say goodbye to your spear gun. And
but again, it's down to gear. Like I've never had my reel lock up.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe it's just good gear or the quality of the line. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that gets parroted a lot. One of those, don't dive alone, and what's just for fair reason. But like the real thing, don't get a reel. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. It's good to hear.
Just my experience, yeah. But yeah, I probably would recommend most guys just to start off simple with a float line and a float. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of reels. Yeah.
I like when I'm teaching people, I like it if they can just pull the trigger on something, shoot a fish, and then let everything go if they want to, and just head straight for the surface and not have to worry about anything.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Again, not the guy to listen to, but yeah, that's my experience. Just never had an issue with anything with the reels. Yeah. So
yeah.
Where's the wood? Knock, knock. Yeah.
Yeah. So with all the conversations you've listened to on the Noob Spearo, do you think we parrot on too much about safety or too little? Like obviously you're a very like risk tolerant sort of man, so I'm very interested in hearing your perspective.
I mean there's nothing wrong with parroting safety stuff. I don't think it's overkill. Like you said earlier, courses and stuff. Yeah, well, you can have idiots. So no, I mean and I always recommend people just go and do a free diving course, learn the breath holds, the breathe ups, post breathing once you're at the surface, and recovery breaths. So it's pretty crucial, all that stuff. So I do back some safety stuff, mate. I'm not totally.
So you like the free diving courses? Have you done one?
Yep. So I did it through Ocean Hunter, which I used to work at Ocean Hunter for a couple of years in New Zealand. So
which one?
I picked up a lot of in Auckland.
Oh yeah. All those boys have actually got 99 spare recipes. So the Whangarei store, the Auckland store, and the Wellington store have all got them in their shops now. Because I was wrapped. I had a bit of drama getting it into New Zealand. Like Jared got it into Typer Tackle, and that was the only shop in the country at one stage stocking them. And I was like, Typer Tackle. Yeah. And then I finally got onto the Ocean Hunter boys because Matt from DeBono Spear Guns took them over to the fishing and boating expo. And so
I just caught up with him actually. Yeah, at the show.
So everyone sort of got a look at this the recipe book. So then all of a sudden they wanted them over there because some of the conversations I had were like, Spearos don't read. And I was just like, what? Like, it's a book that teaches people how to care for their catch. Like, there's 158 recipes in there. Like, where's the big, like, anyway, I finally got them in. So Ocean Hunter got them. So
that's good, mate.
Your old shop are good.
Yeah.
So how long did you work there for? And I guess that made you geek out on gear a little bit?
Yeah, constantly just tweaking and twiddling around with stuff and this and that, and it was good though. I learned a lot. Learned a lot there actually about spearing and this and that. Old Mike, but yeah, it's pretty cool. You do learn a lot being in a shop like that, and fixing guns and seeing some relics come in is pretty cool, and just meeting people. I met so many people on there, which I've turned into dive buddies. A couple of them, good friends, and yeah, that's cool. But yeah, retail is a tough game mentally. I had to leave.
It's not for everyone, man. Like I've watched a lot of people that are keen Spearos start working in shops, and 2 years later, like they're not much of a salesperson. The other people that people complain about, like, because it's hard to be friendly all the time and engaging with people, and they're asking you the same questions that you hear 15 times a day. So
it's hard, man. It was hard, yeah. And then get some. I think I had a death threat at once. One guy's coming in to fight us just because his package didn't turn up on time, but it was my fault, of course. And it's all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
That guy, funnily enough, went this big dilemma, him coming in to try and fight and stuff, and then he had his trip the next week up to one of the Pacific Islands and had a storm for the whole time because we were looking at the weather. So it was a bit of a karma. But I don't think he even got out, so that's good.
I had some poor bugger order some custom penetrator fins from me a while back, and he really wanted them for this charter, but they were 3 days too late from the start of his trip. I was spewing for him, but he was good about it. But you do feel guilty when someone's headed away on a big trip and they just want that, just a really sweet bit of equipment. They've invested all this time and money and going to commit to do something, and then they don't have their gear tuned in. It is a big thing. You have a level of empathy, but your death threats is pretty full on.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
Getting on YouTube, so that's good. I'm sure they'll probably come though.
Probably
the video will be the Marlin if that ever gets any traction. That seems to be the one they love to target spearos on, big
game fish.
With.
Yeah.
So they'll come one day.
Rogan talks about it a little bit, about the hierarchy of like anthropomorphism, I guess you could say, with regards to how high esteem we hold these animals. Like Bambi was pretty terrible for deer.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Bear was another one that's been really maligned by the sounds of it. And then, but in spearing, we have our own kind of things too, and it definitely starts at that sort of larger bodied animal. There is a sort of a certain perspective that we're just like trophy hunting dickheads, I think some people seem to think.
Yeah, no, totally, man. So it's a good awareness. Yeah, like Steve Ranella we spoke about earlier, and the bear, that actually opened my eyes up. I didn't know too much about bear and that they're bloody pests in some spaces and
really good eating too. Arguably.
So yeah, I'll have to get up that side of the world one day.
Yeah.
Cook it up in the blueberry fat.
Yeah. Far out. It sounds interesting. Like it does give you an awareness listening to some of these podcasts and hunters' stories about what's happening in other parts of the world. Got a sweet deal for you today, guys. Go to freedivingfamily.com and learn from Adam Stern and a select team of experts on different disciplines. There's Frenzel, advanced Frenzel and hands-free equalization, mouthful, deep Frenzel equalization, bi-finning essentials. These are courses that will give you the 1% that will allow you to improve. Use the code Spearo to get 20% off any course at freedivingfamily.com. Again, that's the code Spearo to get 20% off at freedivingfamily.com. Thanks, Adam and team. Love it.
Imagine on your last spearfishing trip, your best mate never comes up from his last dive and dies from a blackout. Picture having to tell their family, spouse, and kids that their loved one died on your watch and knowing their death could have been prevented simply by being near them when they surfaced. Unfortunately, I've had many people reach out to me over the years and share exactly what that was like. I can't imagine anything worse than this. If you want to make sure this doesn't happen to you, simply commit to diving safer. My name is Ted Hardy, and I'm the founder of Immersion Freediving, and I want to do more to stop the needless fatalities from blackout than any other person on the planet, and that's why I created freedivingsafety.com. If you want to learn how to reduce your risk of having a blackout, how to save your buddy's life, sign up for my free course at freedivingsafety.com. It is not a substitute for an in-person course, but it's free, comes from a trusted and reliable source, and you can start learning immediately. 1 month after launching this course, a Spearo called me and said he saved his buddy's life just from going through the course. His buddy blacked out underwater. He was able to recognize the signs immediately and was able to save his life. Jeremy Gamble, founder of Spearing Magazine, said since he started hunting in cooperative teams, they put way more fish in the cooler than they ever did competing against each other. Dive safe out there. It's not even that hard, especially when you can learn for free at freedivingsafety.com.
All right, single best piece of advice you've ever been given for spearfishing?
Don't dive alone.
Now you're just being comedic. What's made a difference for you? What's the difference between a good day out diving and a bad day?
Well, I'm all for having a good day out in the water. It's always a good day, but I'm all for taking food home. It's still a big part of it for me. Like I just live off venison, fish, and the basics. Like I'm a pretty simple diet. So I just think, well, it's not advice, but maybe it's a bit of my advice. I just say, there's something there that looks eatable and you will eat it, just shoot it. So if I pass up fish at the start of the day, it's kind of like, catch-22, then just nothing turns up. So I just like to bang a butterfish or something easy at the start, and you've always got something to take home. There's nothing wrong with taking a feed home, So, yeah, I haven't had too much advice. Yeah.
I remember cooking up butterfish in the Trekkers Backpackers in Wellington when I was down there, and cooking up butterfish in butter just on the fry pan there with my with some other people that I was diving with, and jeepers is a good feed. Like, and then I remember like years later, really, I moved to Australia and reading NZ Spearo forum, and a lot of people just talking smack about guys still eating butterfish, and I just remember thinking like, jeepers, that was some of the best fish I'd ever eaten at the time.
Oh, man, yeah, I love butterfish. Yeah, absolutely underrated. Just heaps of them, so people think it's no good, but beautiful.
It's the weed eater thing too, I think. Just they got that stinky guts, and it just puts people off.
People are picky, so picky.
Who has been the most influential person or people in your spearfishing?
Probably some of the boys we had on the soup yacht, man. Like Francisco, just seeing the accuracy and just impressed by their skills. Yeah, I saw some wicked scenes there. They were just maybe the quality of the diving, but no, Mike Addition, he has a lot of good input. Yeah, I learned a lot from him, so shout out to Mike. Lots of info, which I still haven't put to use. I mean, I haven't been over doing a lot of tropics trips, Learned a lot about doggies and wahoo and all the stuff, which I'll hopefully put to use soon. Out of here in a month, so yeah, I'll see if I can take a few species off.
Well, you could always come over for next month. I've got the Whit Sunday sailing trip, man. I've still got a couple of spots up for
man, that looks good.
Yeah. We might have to do your deal if you make a movie about it. I'll see what I can do. August 6th till 10th, there's a couple of spots if you can. If you had to start all over again, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I think I did it all right, man. I just got stuck into it and just got out there and did it. Maybe some safety stuff because I probably got a bit lucky on some of my trips. Yeah, just do a basic freediving course, get a first aid kit, a dive flag, and a few simple things if you're going out. Yeah, because I think as with my whole life, I think I've been pretty lucky along my journey with some crazy shit I've done. So yeah. Don't have to be too crazy, but do some basic safety stuff. Yeah,
Cavalier Craig. That's what I will call the episode.
Cavalier.
Two questions left, Ollie, and then we'll head on out. This one's probably a bit serious. When are we going to see a YouTube thumbnail with a girl and a G-banger?
No, I know. Favorite question. I've got one guy. He's hounding me on there every video. I can't remember what he calls him. Some name he calls him, but we'll see, man. Yeah, I don't know if this is a lifestyle for many women. That's probably why I'm single.
Oh, far out. All right, last question. Describe what the spearfishing experience means to you.
Oh man, yeah, you're getting deep and serious.
So I've got to do one serious one, Ollie.
Oh, right, man. I should have been prepared for these. Spearfishing experience, clearing the mind and eating good quality nutritious food, man. That's pretty much sums it up for me. Yeah.
Ollie, I knew you would be honest and upfront, and we've managed to avoid a lot of controversial topics, I feel, and you've been a little bit guarded, but but we covered some hallowed ground, so I really appreciated it, and you lived up to making Chuck Norris cry and Bear Grylls blush, so I enjoyed it. People can come and find you, Ollie Craig, on Instagram. It's Ollie, OLLIE _Craig on Instagram. You got a massive YouTube channel, it'll be 50,000 subscribers in the next couple of months, I'd imagine. It's Primal Pursuit by Ollie Craig. Mate, legend, love what you're doing. Keep doing it. And you're
cheers,
back.
man. Good to be on. I'd actually take your offer up on the Whit Sundays, but I'm going to be somewhere else pretty remote. So maybe the next one. Absolutely. I've got to do some Aussie, man. I'm going to try and come over and maybe do a few months or something because, maybe
we'll organise a trip.
Snapper you can shoot in Kingy. So, I'll come up and see what you guys have got.
One thing I think, like I've got from the podcast is like I talk to cool people, every other week, and I really get to know them quite a bit. And like, there's so many people I've had on the show that I would love to do a spearfishing trip with. So I'm probably going to open up some things where I start doing trips with people like yourself, and then if 4 or 6 people want to come with us, and we just go and spear and enjoy ourselves for 4 or 5 days, I think that could be pretty fun thing to do.
I'm pretty keen, man. I'd pretty much say yes to any invites if I can. So yeah, just
cool.
Stay in touch, man.
Cool. Parting advice for our spearfishing community. Like, you got anything controversial? Vote Labor or something?
Did you say partying advice or party?
Well, I don't know if I want to hear your partying advice. Your parting advice.
Parting advice.
Vote Labor, I think you said earlier, or vote the Greens.
Yeah. If you want some political discussions, you can catch me on Instagram. We'll leave it off here, but yeah, everyone gets a vibe. Nah, just get out there. Stop making excuses, eh? Fuck it up. You're gonna be dead soon. Go shoot some fish.
Love it.
Just
all good,
make it happen. Yep.
Cool. Great chatting, Ollie.
Sweet. Cheers, mate.
Hey guys, Ollie Craig. I hope I didn't stir him up too much with some of my controversy. A very lively chat and a very cool dude, very down to earth. I really like him. His YouTube channel is awesome. If you want to watch some longer form, really awesome videos that embrace the full spearfishing lifestyle and terrestrial land-based hunting, if you're interested in that too, check it out. Ollie Craig on YouTube, really cool guy. Hey, as usual, massive thanks to the patrons putting fuel in the outboard every episode. Go to patreon.com/Noob Spearo if you want to chuck in $1 or more every episode. It definitely keeps things going around here. Also, the Whit Sundays sail and spear retreats up on spearfishingcourses.com.au, as well as the spearfishing courses run right here off Stradbroke Island in southeast Queensland. Guys, awesome to have you with me. Next week, we are doing a live Q&A about our Whit Sundays trip. Eckhart and I are chatting all about it with a live audience. It's on, actually, tonight. This episode is due to go live on Wednesday the 5th, and if you're lucky, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. There's a live Zoom call. If you go to Noob Spearo social media, you'll find a link there to the call if you're lucky enough to get on in time. Otherwise, next episode will be the recording of that live Q&A, all about the Whit Sundays trip that we hope to run annually. So check it out. If you are interested, there'll be a bunch of information in there about how to register and sign up. Hey guys, cool. I'll see you next week for that. Boom. This review for adreno.com.au from Brett, particularly the Woolloongabba Adreno Superstore. I started spearfishing more regularly recently, and Adreno not only has everything I need, it has Paul. He's super helpful, knowledgeable, and kits me out each time with gear that I actually use. Paul has also provided me with heaps of tips that have made my dives better and more fruitful. He has the friendliest vibe, and I would happily empty out my account upon every visit. I never write reviews, and I used to buy gear online, but have now found in-store is much better. That review from Brett, it's up on Google if you want to check it out. Adreno.com.au, one of the longest running partners of the Noob Spearo podcast. Use the code Noob Spearo to save $20. In-store, online, go to adreno.com.au. Massive superstores, huge range of gear. Check it out. Absolutely mint customer service. Specialty spearfishing equipment, elite spear gun performance components, unforgettable reliability. You want to find out where to buy this? Punch in Neptonics.com and shop at the best US spearfishing store, Neptonics.com. Free shipping to the lower 48 when you spend over $199, and you can use the code NOOB10 to save 10%. This is your chance to save dosh. Buy deadly good gear and experience A-grade customer service. Will you shop with the best? Visit Neptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to start shooting 35-pound muttons tomorrow. Actual performance may differ from advertisement. Please refer to terms and conditions to see if you're eligible to be a legend like Shrek. This advertisement was not even endorsed by Jerry and the team at Neptonics. Hoorah, and God bless America.